I know what y'all thinking. Y'all like this dude is talking about Kanye West again, but Kanye West, through his actions, be it good, bad, stupid, smart, more likely than that, probably a little stupid, but he always finds a way to deliver some financial gems if you just filter through whatever the nonsense that's going on. So, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about some financial things that are going on with Kanye West. He got a $50 million tax bill, accounts are frozen. Ye just put that out there this week on a YouTuber's channel that he walked out on. And he also has a court order for $200,000 a month in child support. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about finances because all this stuff going on with Kanye and his finances, it brings something into clarity for me. What is that thing that it brings into clarity for me is net worth. Net worth is a trash indicator of wealth. So many times I think we just been conditioned. Forbes billionaires list and Bloomberg's 100 richest people. So I feel like we subconsciously put this number in our head like, oh, million is, but net worth is really a trash indicator of wealth. So we're going to talk about a little bit of what Kanye got going on, but we're going to talk about the lesson that he has given us where there's something more important to being wealthy, and it's not just your net worth. Your net worth is not the most important thing. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I was just on another channel with one of the homies, and so a brother throat a little parched. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Marcus, you're the channel, The Debt Free Dad. If you're interested in finances, financial takes, financial topics, current events, attorney reactions, finding out what moves we're making with our finances as we're paying off our debt and on the road to become first generation millionaires. See, here I go again. I'm facilitating the stigma about how that millionaire mantra is so important. But if you're interested in that content, definitely like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about Kanye, Yeezy, Ye, whatever the hell his name is, because his name switches so he's been just on a whirlwind. The Gap thing blew up. He was selling clothes out of trash bags. Then the Adidas things blew up, and he only keeps the name, but he doesn't have the rights to any of the designs or any of the colorways. And that triggered something that is really hard to do, where this dude lost his billionaire status. And I did a video where I put the number in context, and I think it was about 16.7%, if I'm not mistaken. But to go from $2.2 billion to $400 million is essentially only having 16% of what your net worth used to be. Just think about it. If you woke up tomorrow and you were only worth 16% of what you were worth the day before, y'all would be pissed the hell off. It would be a problem. I know it would be a problem over here. DFD, I ain't gonna say I would resort to trapping, but I would have to start grinding legally, of course. Now, those things kick Kanye West out of the billionaires club. And so what did we learn from that? Well, we learned yesterday that while Kanye West was on a YouTuber's channel, he was talking about how he learned about business. And he said, you know what, at a young age, I became famous. So I always had these handlers who were doing everything for me. Then he said he got some gems from his mother where he was really learning how to run a business. And then what he said specifically was he was learning how to count, like count his money, count his dollar signs that were associated with his contracts. But, now he's talking about a $50 million tax bill. Now, with this $50 million tax bill, it wasn't just a notice that he got sent where they were like, hey, Mr. West, you owe us $50 million. No, what happened was they actually put a freeze on his accounts so he doesn't have access to his account. Now, hey, I'm an attorney. I specialize in financial fraud, crimes. I kind of got a little bit of knowledge on a lot of things. But one thing, even though I'm a tax geek, I took a bunch of tax classes in law school, but tax law is different from the accounting associated with taxes. So I looked out there the other day and I found a dope video. Y'all go check out if y'all not familiar, pocket watching with JT, he put a dope video out a couple of days ago where I think it was Wednesday, but go check out that channel. But he broke down, and hey, he's a certified financial planner. He does tax stuff. He represents clients before the tax board. So hey, he's really privy and has information, because I wanted to know and understand, how do you get your accounts frozen for this $50 million? And so essentially, I'm going to paraphrase it, but y'all need to go check out that video. Essentially, in order for you to have a levy placed on your account or your property, cars, property, house, any of that type of stuff, bottom line is, according to the expert JT, you have to ignore a lot of stuff. He states that the IRS is going to flood you with paperwork. If you owe a debt by the IRS, they're going to send notice after notice to your house. They're going to send certified mail that you have to sign. And so when JT explained that, I was like, you know what? JT is right. How did DFD know JT was right? Because DFD owed the IRS before, and that shit was not fun. Now, it wasn't no $50 million like yay, but for me, that it was maybe like, I don't know if it was like $6,000 or $7,000, but it damn sure felt like $50 million at the time, trying to pay that stuff off. But I remember specifically when I owed that money, it was like I got a notice every week. Hey, you have this tax obligation. Please call us if you want to challenge it, or if you have additional information. We're sending this out to notify you that you can set up a payment plan by calling this number. I probably got, for that $7,000 or $8,000 tax debt, I'm gonna be honest, I probably got maybe 15 pieces of mail before I actually ended up resolving it. And I wasn't ignoring it. I was actually following up and calling, and it was just the process of them working with me, sending out proposed repayment plans and all of this stuff. So bottom line is, before you get your account frozen from a levy on the IRS, you have to ignore a lot of stuff. The other interesting thing that the professional CFP pointed out was, if you have your account levied, let's say you owe $50 million, like Kanye West, you owe $50 million. When they levy your account, they'll put that hold on your account. They have the authority to go in and take out the $50 million that you owe them. So they'll take out the $50 million if you have the funds in there, and whatever else is in there is your money to keep. So that's kind of how his tax situation played out. Now let's flip it around, because hey, we know Kanye is going through a divorce. I talk about it all the time. The most important decision you'll make related to your finances is who you choose to share your finances with for the rest of your life. If you make the right choice, you can have a great financial life. If you make the wrong choice, you could be in limbo. So when you actually, got a comment, gotta check it out. Yeah, the IRS are terrible. The IRS, I mean, they're not terrible, but it's like owing the mob. Like, they even sent me a notice. I was on a payment plan, and as I was paying back the IRS, I never missed the payment. I got the payment down to maybe like $1,500, and I got a notice in the mail, and it was like, if you don't pay the remaining balance, we'll put a lien against your house. And I was like, it's $1,500, and I never missed the payment. That got me shook. So of course I paid it off really quick. I was like, let me just go and send these fools $1,500. But like I was saying, Kanye West, now he has $200,000 a month that he has to pay in child support, which isn't really a big deal for Kanye West. I'm just going to put, even with his net worth reduced from billionaire status to, 400 million, presumably. But all of this brings up a point of net worth, how net worth is measured, and is your net worth really important? And so I did a little research. There are three ways that net worth are measured, or wealth in general. Let's not say net worth. There's three ways that people measure wealth. The first way is just mathematical. Assets, subtract the liabilities, whatever you got left over is kind of where you are. So that's kind of that net worth version of wealth. The second version of wealth that I was able to find, it's not really defined on your assets over your liabilities. It's more defined by how long can you sustain your lifestyle without actually trading your hours for compensation, without actually clocking into your 9 to 5 or working in your business. Now, hey, I think as far as wealth is concerned, I think I like that kind of aspect or definition of wealth a little bit more than the numbers. And I'll talk about why. Now, the third indicator I found, or the third definition of wealth, was one that was, it really revolved around things that were non-measurables. But these are things that anybody would agree. You line anybody up, they're going to agree that yes, these things do constitute wealth in some regard. What are those things? Health, family, having time to be able to enjoy your family. Because I actually thought about it. I thought about some of the most happiest times in my life. And then when I thought about those, the next thing I thought about was how important was money related to those most happiest times in my life? And most times it wasn't anything to do with money at all. I mean, it was, of course, when me and my wife renewed our vows and we went to Turks and Caicos because we had to step over crackheads and get married at the courthouse when we were young and broke. So, of course, that Turks and Caicos thing was one where it was money involved. But if I had to look at the 5 to 7 best memories, majority of them were times where I was just with family at Thanksgiving, where I was watching a movie with the family and the kids, and we may have been lollygagging around doing something stupid. So wealth is really measured differently depending on who you are, depending on what you're looking for. Some people use that first metric where they just look at assets minus liabilities. Some people look at that second metric where they look at how long can you sustain your lifestyle without having to trade time for labor in any regard. And some people are really altruistic and they take that real holistic approach of time, family, values, happiness. I think for me, it's really kind of a combination of all three is probably the best definition of wealth that I could get for me. Yeah, and that's the thing too, because I was just checking out that comment. Shout out Aaron, I appreciate you tuning in, sis. But it is interesting because when we look at that first model, the net worth, let's just think about this. At one point, let's take this back to Kanye West because this will bring it out. At one point, he was worth $2.2 billion. He has a $50 million tax bill. Okay, he didn't lose his billionaire status a year ago. He was just a billionaire, what, 8 weeks ago, and now he's not. But he had a net worth of $2.2 billion. $50 million is 2.27% of $2.2 billion. So $50 million should be nothing for Kanye West to pay off like that. Just with, hey, oh man, here you go. Let me give you my debit card number, XYZ, and it's just paid off. And let's put that into realistic numbers. If you had a $100,000 net worth, or if you had a job where you made $100,000, 2.2% would essentially be $2,270. And so I think this goes to show you, and like Aaron said, when we talk about your house and your net worth and all of that stuff, you can't just look at the numbers because a big part of wealth is being liquid, having to have the ability to have cash on hand in the event that you need it, or having some commodity that you can trade for cash. And I look at trading it for cash, I'm talking about within no longer than 3 days, within 72 hours. You can have a multi-million-dollar house, but you can't get rid of that house in 7 days. And if you're getting rid of it in a market like we have now, there's a good chance that you might take an L on a couple of $100,000 on that property as interest rates are going up. The housing market is getting shakier and shakier. So for me, I think the best thing you can do to look at your wealth picture from a big kind of bird's eye perspective is you want to have some liquidity. And what is liquidity? Liquidity is cash on hand or things you can convert to cash relatively fast. For me, it's 3 days, because if an emergency come up, I can stall it out for maybe 2 or 3 days. But I need to be able to get, if Lord forbid something happened from a health standpoint and the insurance company was tripping and I needed $50,000 to do a procedure, I got a method to go get $50,000. Now I'm gonna have to cash out some investments, but I can do that and get that shit, and pardon my language, in a couple of hours. So you have to be liquid. If you have a big ass net worth, but you don't have any real cash on hand or the ability to get cash because it's all tied up in businesses or it's all tied up in your house, are you really wealthy? Like let's just be realistic. Are you really wealthy? Because I agree net worth is important. I agree the ability to live without trading your time for money is important, but I strongly agree with that third concept of wealth is, time, family, memories, all of that stuff to me is probably the more important of the three that I mentioned. And really the only reason that I even give a damn about my finances is so I could get back to that one. Like the only reason I care about my net worth and care about being able to have my finances set up to where, hey, I got enough to sustain my lifestyle is so I could get back to point number three, where I want to be able to enjoy my family and be able to enjoy my time. That's that's kind of, my way of looking at it. So $50 million should be nothing to Kanye West. Again, it was $50 million is 2.2% of his for 2 point no it's 2.2% of his 2.2 billion that he was worth a couple of months ago. Now $400 million is a little bit more, but this is something he should pay off like tomorrow. Like it shouldn't be a freeze on your account for more than 48 hours because you should have the capital, the liquid assets to be able to get $50 million like that. And so I think that's the big thing when you're talking about net worth. It's not just the numbers, it's not just how long you think you may live and can your lifestyle. It's all three of those things. And it's the numbers, it's the being able to facilitate your lifestyle. But more importantly, those two, the only reason anybody give a damn about it, ask anybody who on here budgeting and talking about finances. It's done to relieve stress and to put them in a position so they can enjoy their life more. I will tell you, I've been over the past 24 months since I've been on this debt payoff, financial freedom journey, or whatever the hell it is I decide to call it on any given day. I've been less stressed about things than I've ever been in my life. And I was just thinking this morning. How much is an emergency? How much would an emergency have to call for me to actually be stressed about it? And I actually got a dollar amount in my head because I know, like, if it's I remember back in the day, a $300 emergency was an issue. I had no clue what was going to happen, how the hell I was going to deal with it. But for me now, because I got my emergency fund up, it's almost at 6 months, and I'm constantly building that because I limited my risk and paying off so much debt. Now, I mean, like I can remember having a car repair a couple of months ago that was like $5,000 or $6,000, and I just was like, oh well. I didn't think of it. Did I want to see the $5,000 or $6,000 leave my account? No, but I counted my blessings and I was very grateful that I was in the position to pay it and not miss a beat on anything else. My great grandmother used to always say, if you got enough to pay all your bills and you got a penny left over, you got more than what you need. So I'm very happy and grateful to have more than what I need. And when you got more than what you need and you kind of got some stashed away, you want to talk about changing the game and reducing your stress. That's the biggest way. It's funny that you talk about crypto. Hey. I am a crypto investor. Crypto is not the way to become a millionaire. Can you become a millionaire? Yeah, but shit, you could win the lottery too. And how often did that happen for people? So I am a proponent of investing in crypto. I invest in crypto, but y'all know I already give the cautions. Don't put in anything you're not willing to lose. Don't invest more than 3 to 5% of your overall net worth. If you're worth $100,000 and you got $30,000 in crypto, you setting yourself up to be kicked in the ass. So you definitely got to be smart. You definitely got to be smart when you're dealing with the crypto stuff. So I will tell you though, I will tell you with crypto during this winter, I'm still dollar cost averaging in with my $100 a month or $50 a month or whatever it is. Because I just looked at the cycle for crypto. And when the bull market come back for crypto, this is my opinion. People who put anything in, even if it's only $10 a week, $10 a month, if you're gonna see so many crazy profits, I think it's gonna be big time. But I do got an interesting video that I kind of got in the world works for crypto, and it's I'm actually gonna go through the lawsuit associated with FTX, and not really their lawsuit. The lawsuit, because there's two lawsuits. There's the FTX bankruptcy lawsuit, and there's a little bit about that. But the lawsuit I'm really interested in is the civil lawsuit filed against Mark Cuban, Shaquille O'Neal, Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, Tom Brady, his ex-wife Giselle. And that's the actual interesting lawsuit because they're coming after these celebrities for promoting this bogus ass crypto trading platform. And so that lawsuit was actually pretty interesting when I took a chance to dig down in it and look at it. It's not 95. Yeah, if it was 95% of your portfolio, yeah, you would be on the ramen noodle side of the game. I got you. I would send you a nice gift basket, though, sis. I got love for you. I send you a nice gift basket. But yeah, that's the big takeaway from this is, hey, don't be so enamored with your net worth. Okay, there are a lot of people out there who say, "Oh, I'm a millionaire," and you could become a millionaire too. But they're so over leveraged in debt, they may not have actually any cash on hands. So you want to have a good balance. Now, I don't know what you all would consider a good balance, but based on my net worth numbers from last year, I actually went back and looked at that video because it's about time I start calculating them again to see what progress we made, if any. But that's a whole nother story. But we were at about 660 some odd thousand, more or less, somewhere around that. And so I wanted to see, like, man, based on that net worth, what percentage are we liquid? Like, if we needed the cash, we can go get it. And I was actually pretty impressed because most of that, we were probably about 37% liquid. That means that of our entire net worth, 37% of it was either in cash in the bank or some type of investment or brokerage account that we could get to if we actually needed it. Now, again, I think that's a really good ratio to keep. I don't want to have 80% of my net worth in my house. That's crazy as hell. I didn't know that better be an immaculate ass house too. But I think that's a really good way to kind of evaluate where you are. Your net worth is important, but you also want to focus on having some liquidity. And the biggest part of liquidity, y'all already know, I preach this every month. And if y'all don't get anything from this, is the biggest part of liquidity and having peace of mind is having a damn emergency fund. It's funny. I'll tell this story. I told you all I had a family member who reached out to me and they wanted me to help them with their financial plan, right? And I got to really learn something as a person, you know what I mean? And this is I got to really learn something as a person. And I don't know, y'all may be a lot more mature than me in this regard. Yeah, yeah. But I'll tell you, of all those crypto platforms that went bankruptcy, I've actually watched finance YouTubers who were like, oh, use Binance, and then use you. They, I mean, I've seen finance YouTubers tell people to use all the platforms that filed for bankruptcy. I don't know if y'all even noticed. I used to have a Coinbase login, not login. I used to have a Coinbase affiliate program where you can click and get, when you open your account, you get some crypto. I actually took that down. And the reason I don't have it in my newer videos, not because I think Coinbase is at risk of going under, because I got Coinbase. So I, I feel fairly confident that Coinbase won't be one of the crypto platforms or crypto exchanges that go bankrupt. I feel relatively confident about that. But the reason I took it down is I didn't want to influence my audience, as small as it may be. I didn't want to influence them in any way to something where they can potentially expose themselves to risk. Now that's always the case. I could have an Amazon link and you could click on the link to buy something and be exposed to risk. But I knew with the crypto market, it was really sensitive. And Coinbase just sent me a new thing. Hey, we got a new referral program. But I took the Coinbase referral link down just because I knew that, it's people who watch this channel. I believe in Coinbase. I still use it. When I do a crypto portfolio update, it's going to be my Coinbase account. Y'all will be able to see is my Coinbase account. But, some of a part of me, a small part of me was like, you know what? This crypto thing is looking crazy. Let me not promote it for a while just until the market shakes itself out. It's like, when you got dandruff or lint on a sweater, you got to dry, you got to shake it off. And right now, the crypto market is shaking off all of the lint on the crypto sweater. And those lints are the bogus ass exchange platforms. And you got to understand that what happened to FTX can happen to any platform. What happened to FTX could happen to your Bank of America account if the personnel at Bank of America decide to do some shady shit. But that was one of the reasons why I expressly took the Coinbase thing down. Not that I don't believe in Coinbase. Oh, Goofy slap. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a virtual. I'm gonna send you something in the mail. When you open it up, it'll slap you. Be like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, that's kind of the big takeaway from this. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. But like I said, the biggest takeaway is don't worry so much about your net worth numbers. You want to have a balance between having the net worth numbers and seeing those grow, but having that access to cash, being liquid, having some liquidity there where you can stave off any emergency. And that may be something more than an emergency fund. Sometimes something could happen where it could cost more than what's in your emergency fund. And if it's something that's very worthwhile for a life or death situation, I would be more than willing to do what I need to do to sell off some assets, whatever the hell it is, to make that maneuver. So you definitely got to put yourself in that position. So, if Kanye don't got 2.2% of his former $2.2 billion to fade his $50 million off in the next week, is a travesty that your net worth could be so high, but you don't have that much cash on hand. I don't want that to happen to y'all. So I appreciate it. Hey, and also, y'all may not notice because it's only the second. It's only the second. I was about to say, I'm going to release a video every day for the month of December. It may not be a long form video, but most of them are probably going to be long forms. That's my thing. It's probably not going to be vlogs because every time I hold the phone out and record a vlog, like I hold it at the wrong angle or my nostrils is too wide. You can see all up in my nasal cavities. It just get ridiculous. So it'll probably be long form content. But I'm going to try to hit y'all with something every day for the month of December. And we're going to start with the basics. I got a video where I'm talking about a certificate of a deposit. What the hell is it? And why in the hell did my bank try to get me to open a certificate of deposit? I was actually insulted. I was like, do y'all see my setup in this bank account? Do I look like somebody who won a damn certificate of deposit? That was like, that I don't know. That was like calling me soft if I was in the hood. Don't ask me, oh, you should open up a certificate of deposit. It made me actually want to close all my accounts with them, but that's a whole nother story. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I appreciate y'all for the support. Y'all take care. Have a good weekend. Hey, DFD about to go have movie night. I'm about to watch Avatar, the first one, because I got my movie pass. So I want to go see the new Avatar, but I got to know what's going on with the first one. Yes, my grown ass, my old 40-year-old self is about to go watch Avatar. You know what else I'm doing? I'm going to wrestling Monday night because Monday Night Raw is going to be in my city and my daughter can't go. So you know what that means? I'm going by myself. Yep, I said it. I'm an old ass 40-year-old guy and I'm going to see wrestling all by myself, and I could do that. Isn't that goofy? Y'all take care. Be blessed. Y'all have a good weekend. Peace.